Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mapule Chabalala, owner of Free Spirit Investments. In this video, I'm going to explain who Free Spirit Investment is. But before I get to it, it will be important to say a little bit about myself so that you understand what led me to start this company. So I've worked in corporate for over 22 years in different fields. And while doing that, at a personal level, I've been supporting small businesses. And really, initially, it was just supporting people who are hustling out there. I wasn't really conscious of why I was doing it. But then I started to realize that I was really concerned and passionate whenever they were making certain mistakes. And I was adamant that instead of just ditching them and finding somebody else, I would try and teach them and give them feedback, but in a way that actually skills them. And while in corporate, there will be times where we want to support small businesses. And whenever we matched make or found a small supplier, you'll find that it is a challenge to actually give them the opportunity, because obviously the risk you would need to take as as a buying manager, or the corporate brand in itself is at stake. If certain mistakes were to happen, you end up being unable to support them. And really, most of the gaps were customer service, understanding really the professionalism that comes with it, that comes with dealing with a client, whether big or small, pricing issues that led to cash flow problem. And you can count all the other challenges that small businesses face. And it's really because people start businesses for different reasons. Sometimes the skills are not really there, or the experience or the exposure. It is really all about somebody hustling, or maybe they are passionate about something, maybe they have the technical skills, but the business management side is lacking. But to cut the story short, I then realized the gap. And while at a personal level, I still supported small businesses, I got frustrated with these challenges. I didn't give up on them. And that's when I realized this was really my passion. And I was also inspired by the fact that if you look at other, races, or if you call other cultures, they would really support each other, they would upskill each other, they would surround each other with people who know how to support them, they will buy from their own. And in our African culture, as much as we're very communal and supportive of each other, we didn't really do this, or at least do it well enough for this to result in sustainable growth. And I just felt this is a mindset I would like to change, which then obviously led to me founding Free Spirit Investment as a way to upskill small businesses. And really how we do that is it can either be a one-on-one consultation where we dissect your problem, because others really know what they are dealing with. They know probably the challenging markets. They haven't identified their target market, or they have not got their pricing right, but others really don't understand why they're not getting it right. So we'll really dissect the problem, look at other limiting beliefs, because sometimes what stops us from growing or finding opportunities is not so much the skills themselves, it's the beliefs, either the fear or the lack of confidence that you have in yourself or your product or service. Countless beliefs that we have, how we're raised, all sorts of things come into play. And then we'll look into the options, especially where there's no funding, because not everything can be solved by funding. We need to understand where the challenge is. But if there is no funding, what else can we do? How can we collaborate? How do we find you partners that can collaborate with you in a way that does not need you to either pay any money or a lot of money that you might not have? So this is how we do it. But we also do it in terms of customized, service during a group events where, as group of business owners, we come together, we dissect challenges, we come up with solutions, and I don't want to just call it networking, because this is where we look at how we actually exchange and work across our skills and our services and products that we provide to create growth for ourselves. So that's what really Free Spirit is all about. But an additional product that I also have that some of you may be familiar with is my Growth Journey Journal, which I authored really for individuals and small business owners. So this is like any other typical journal where you'll have like spaces like, for instance, like this one, where you can write up your moments, your thoughts, your commitments for the time, for the season. It doesn't have to be for daily use. But over and above that, you'll find that some pages have encouraging verses and quotes, that really reassure you, especially when times are tough and you're wondering why you're doing this, because it can be a lonely journey. And then over and above that, you've got pages actually that have write-ups, which are specifically targeted at things that tend to limit our growth. For instance, in terms of a vision board, yes, you might hear of a vision board, but maybe you've not really sat and thought about what is it that I need to think about for me to put together a vision board. You've got goals. What do you need to think about when you set goals? How do you go about it? It's really not just waking up and thinking, this is what I want to achieve. There's a thought behind it that is linked to your vision, where you want to go. What are you going to prioritize for you to achieve that goal? What are you going to sacrifice? Because remember, it's not really just about prioritization and going out to reach that goal. There are sacrifices that you have to make, and you need to understand what are those sacrifices, right? And you've got money matters, things you need to think about, especially as small businesses where you find that you don't have the luxury of affording an accountant or a bookkeeper. What are the things you need to think about? What are the things you need to keep on record to make sure that your books are up to date for the day when you have to either submit for SARS, or you've got an accountant that will want to get things in order for you. And at a personal level also, the decisions we make about our money, how we purchase, those purchasing decision, sometimes we take those to our businesses if we start a business. But even if you don't end up starting a business, that can actually hamper your financial growth, because you are so used to either just spending or spending without thinking whether you really need this thing or whether it is a priority versus something else, that we end up finding ourselves in this spiral of a rat race, because then we feel like we just need more money, we need more money, when actually it's all about changing how we think about money and how we spend our money. Relationships, those are very important. There's also a write-up about those, because as we grow, as we mature, there are relationships that are going to fall by the wayside, and there's no reason really to feel bad about it. They are just people who came at a particular time in your life to teach you certain lessons, to be part of your growth, because God brought them to your life for a particular reason. And others are there to travel the entire journey with you. Others are there for a limited period. But which relationship do you really need to assess and review and leave behind? And that's okay. Toxic relationships that you cannot afford to stay in, people who might be bringing you down. And that goes both to a personal level and a business level. You might have struck a relationship and networked with someone, but you realize there's no value that you're getting out of it, and there's really nothing wrong with letting that go. So there are those kind of write-ups, having a contingency plan, and also the most important thing, act of kindness. I think we so forget to do that. And it's not something like donating thousands of money to some charity. Sometimes it's really just giving a listening ear to somebody else. That's an act of kindness. So you don't have to really formalize it. Some of them are actually very random, which means, whenever you see an opportunity to be kind to someone, sometimes it's just really giving somebody a greeting with a smile, and a genuine smile that can make somebody's day. So this journal is really all about that. It's really geared towards growth mindset. And it's sold obviously as part of the portfolio of Free Spirit Investments, and that's where you can get it from us directly. We're still looking at other opportunities of how to distribute it further. So this is who Free Spirit and the Growth Journey Journal are all about, and this is where Mapule comes from, and that whatever it is that was on my mind and part of my passion that fueled the start of this business. And if you like my channel, you like my topics, please do like, subscribe, share. I'll be grateful. But also, you're welcome to engage either on this platform, on my Instagram page, or there are contact details on this channel as well if you want to reach me on email or WhatsApp. I'll welcome that. Until next time, thank you very much. Have a lovely day.